Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Amy's Apron. I'm so excited that y'all decided to join me again. I love cooking in the kitchen and I really love when you guys come and join me too. Okay, so today we're gonna make focaccia bread and I can't wait. I love trying new things and exploring with recipes, and today's recipe is gonna be that garlic focaccia bread. So the first thing that we need to do is infuse our olive oil with the garlic. And I've already started that because I wanted to make sure that it had enough time for the flavors to come together. So all you need to do is put half a cup of olive oil into a pan and then add 2 or 3 crushed cloves of garlic. And so that's what I've done right here. And we just have this on a low heat, and it's just going to warm up, and the essential oils that are in the garlic are really going to get into that olive oil and really kind of make it flavorful, and it's gonna perfume it, and you're just gonna love it. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is bloom our yeast. So right here I have 1 cup of warm water. Now, when I say warm, I mean like you put your finger in it and it feels like nothing. You know, it just kind of feels like the air around you. So that's what this feels like, so I know that this is good to go. So I'm going to add the yeast in now. I just have a simple instant yeast, and it's really easy to find in any of your grocery stores. So I need 1, 2.5 teaspoons of the yeast. And then we need to feed the yeast to make it all warm and happy, you know, to make it want to wake up and really grow for us. So we're going to get honey to feed it. Now guys, if you don't have honey in your pantry, you don't need to run to the store just for honey for this project. It's okay, not a big deal. Just use some sugar. It's just about a teaspoon of honey or a teaspoon of plain regular sugar. Okay, so here we go. Right in. And I'm just gonna give it a little stir. I'm sorry about all the background noises, guys. I live in a house full of people. I have 2 grandmothers here, my son and daughter, my mom and dad, my brother, and then a caretaker is always here with one of my grandmothers. So there are lots of noises and people constantly moving around. That's just kind of the way it is. But guys, I bet your kitchen is pretty busy too, so it's totally normal, right? Okay, let's leave this alone. These both need about 5 more minutes, and then we can move on to the next step. So I'll see you guys when we're ready to move on. Bye. Okay everybody, so it has been 5 minutes and our yeast has really bloomed. It looks great. So I've added it into our mixing bowl and we're gonna get to work now. So first we're just going to moisten some of the flour. In all, we need 2.5 cups of flour. But right now I'm just gonna put 1 cup of flour in there with a little bit of our infused oil. We're gonna let it just kind of soak up some of the yeasty water, and then we're gonna add in the last 1.5 cups. Okay. It's really so that we don't overwhelm, we don't overwhelm the flour. I mean, like if we put all of our flour in at one time, we may never get it all mixed in. Okay, that's 1 cup of flour, and then I can't talk. And then I need a 1/4 cup of this amazing infused oil. So a 1/4 cup is the same as 4 tablespoons. So I'm just gonna do tablespoons since I have a shallow pan here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm gonna get some of this toasty garlic in there. Okay, so I've used some crushed garlic. I mean, like, I put it through a garlic press, and so it is really crushed. So this is just going to go right into the bread, and you're not even gonna know it's in there. You will taste it, but you're not going to have chunks of garlic, I promise. It's gonna be really good though. So let's give this a little mix, and then we'll add the rest. Okay, all of our flour has thoroughly mixed in, so let's add the rest of it. I'm just gonna switch it off, pop up the lid, and add the rest. So, here we go. Half a cup. 1 cup. Half a cup. Okay. That brings us to our 2.5 cups of flour. Now let's mix this up. Okay, so let me tell you what's gonna happen after this. When this is fully mixed, I'm going to move the bowl, and then we're gonna put a little towel on top of it, and we're gonna let it rise for at least an hour. It's gonna take an hour for the yeast to start moving around in there, and it's gonna create all these gas bubbles, and it's gonna help the dough to rise up quickly. And so in an hour, that dough is gonna double its size. That's what I'm looking for. This is looking good. Okay guys, so the dough has finished mixing and it looks really good. So here's what we're gonna do next. Get your dough, pull it out. Find yourself a clean counter space and dust it with a little bit of flour, and that's what I've done here. This is just flour. I'm gonna take this and I am just gonna knead it a little bit. So I'm gonna do this heart-shaped kneading technique. Push it, you roll it back. Push it, there you go, like that. We're just gonna do it for a minute. And we're just helping it to develop more gluten. Okay guys, there we go. Perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to turn the dough in like this to the bottom. Okay. Turning it down into a little ball like this. Okay. Make sure I have a little ball. You can do like this, but mine's big and it's moving. Okay, anyway though, big ball of dough. Nice and round and even. I'm gonna put it back in my work bowl here. Gonna plop it right on in there, and I am going to cover this and let it rise for an hour. So, I know it's hard, but be patient for an hour, and I'll see you guys when it's done. You'll know it's done because it is going to just bloom up. It'll be double the size. I mean, it's probably gonna be like right here when we take this, when we take the invisible cloth off of it. Now, I'm gonna put a cloth on it in a minute, but just drape it over the top. And anyway, when it's done rising, it's going to be really tall, double its size, and it'll be ready to go in the pan. Okay guys, I'll see you in an hour. Okay guys, so it's been an hour, and do you want to see what it looks like? I'm so excited. Look! Do you remember we had a teeny tiny dough ball just an hour ago, and it has really grown. So now we're just gonna grab this, just kind of scoop it up. We're gonna put it in our little pan. Now I'm using a 1/4 sheet pan. Make sure that you have thoroughly oiled your pan. You can either use some of your infused olive oil or you can use bacon grease. Bacon grease is what I used. Anyway, anything you really want, just make sure you oil it. So now, I'm gonna use my fingers. I'm gonna push this out because I want it to be all the way out each side. I want it to fit my pan. So just keep pushing until you make it. Okay, here we go. So I made it out to all the corners of my pan. Now I'm gonna take my fingers and I'm going to work these little crevices into the bread. This is essentially what makes it focaccia bread. This is the thing, you know, like the telltale sign. That's focaccia bread. You know, you see these little crevices, these holes all over the place, and those holes, they're great. What they're gonna do is, in just a second, I'm gonna pour more of this olive oil and garlic mixture all over this bread we have in our pan, and it's gonna seep into our little crevices, okay? So it's just gonna really infuse more flavor, and it's gonna be good. So don't worry if you make little holes. You gotta let the dough rise again anyway. Those holes will be fine. Make sure you have lots of dotty things. Do you see how pokey that is? That is what we're looking for. Okay? This is beautiful and filled with all the little crevices that we are hoping for, that we are looking for. All the things that are traditional to focaccia bread. Did you hear that? That's my oven, and it says it's ready. So I have my oven at 450 degrees, but we are not ready to go in yet, okay? So now, I've got my tablespoon, and I'm going to put some more in here. I would just drizzle it over. I've still got quite a bit left, and I do not want this to swim. I just want it enough. Okay, so all over. Here we go. Okay, maybe I will make it swim a little bit. Here. This is looking really good, guys. Okay. So, I've got the oil in, and it is going to sink into all these crevices. And now, I'm going to take my salt, and I am going to sprinkle Himalayan sea salt all over this. Okay, watch this. Okay, that is going to add this really great crunchy texture on the top and just this little salty something. It's not going to taste salty, it's just gonna taste really great and flavorful. Okay, so this needs to rise again for 20 minutes, and then we can put it in the oven and cook it. I cannot wait. So 20 minutes, guys, and we will get it cooking. Okay. Hi everybody. Okay, so it has been 20 minutes and our dough has risen beautifully. Can you guys see this? It's almost as tall as the pan. Look, this is what we're looking for. So it's all craggy and beautiful. It has soaked in that garlic olive oil into the little crevices, and this is gonna be amazing. So now I'm gonna put this into a 450 degree oven, and it's gonna cook for 15 to 20 minutes. After that, we'll pull it out, we will let it rest, and we're gonna eat focaccia bread. Okay, let's get this in. It's in. Now all we have to do is wait. Okay guys, so it has been 20 minutes. My kitchen smells amazing, and it's time to pull this back out of the oven. I know it's gonna be great. Okay. Here we go. Guys, it's exactly what we were looking for. Beautiful. You see this? I'm so excited. I am just thrilled how this turned out. Okay, so let's talk about what we can use this for. We can use it when you're having like an Italian dinner, if you want something on the side of like spaghetti or any kind of pasta really. Focaccia bread would be wonderful. And this is nice and garlicky too, so the flavors go right along. Last night we had sandwiches. I made Cubans, and I used my first test batch of focaccia bread as the bread for our Cuban sandwiches. Happy to say though, this bread turned out way better than last night's. Last night's tasted really good, but it didn't look anything like this. This has turned out beautiful. And I always tell you guys, don't be afraid to test and mess up. The important part is that you're just trying. Trying is all that matters. It's so much fun to get in the kitchen and cook for your family. I know I love it.